Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back at it on my home turf, and guess what? We have that totally redesigned vehicle from Nissan. It's this vehicle right here. This is the all-new 2025 Nissan Murano. This particular one is the top trim known as the Platinum. But before we get into this new shape with a new transmission, mid-size two-row SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So the Murano's been in Nissan's lineup since 2003, and Nissan is really showcasing the truth behind their A to Z redesigns of their vehicles. So not only are they doing redesigns, they've also brought new vehicles to market like the Nissan Arai, and there's yet to be more to come. Now, with the Murano, it's interesting because in the mid-size crossover SUV segment, especially since 2003, there's not a lot of two rows. Most of them have switched over to dedicated three-row mid-size SUVs. And another thing that's interesting is that Nissan tries to bring some infinity luxury to the Murano. If you've ever wondered why they call it a Murano, Murano, believe it or not, is a type of Venetian glass. And that's where it gets its name. But what I want to find out is this the best way to go if you're looking for a mid-size two-row? Would you get this over a Lexus RX 350? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our new Murano and find out. Right off the bat, this color. New to the palette of colors from Nissan, it's called Aurora Blue Metallic, and it absolutely sparkles like no other paint job that I've seen on a Murano since now. Now at the front of the business, you'll see how they went really slim and very high with the headlight housing. You have your triple LED beam headlights, everything blacked out on the interior. We have an array of LED daytime running lamps that actually form that V-style grille. And then working our way down, all body color with a little bit of gloss black. Now you will be able to have different trim options, and they kind of narrowed it down for you. You can get the SL trim, either front wheel drive or optional all-wheel drive. SV and the Platinum come all-wheel drive. So nice to have. It's just really simple to figure out how to option your new Murano. But let me know what you think about the new face. I know a lot of people are like, ew, what do they do? But I think once you see it in person, it starts to make a little bit more sense. Now, as we come across the front grille area, they decided to bring some gloss black and actually stamp the Murano name into the front nose. At first, I did not like this. I zonked it, but it's growing on me. It connects the headlight housings nicely. And then when they go back to body color and then the upper grille, it shows a lot of definition. So you have your forward-facing camera in that Nissan badge, functional grille up top, vertical slots, horizontal slots with some vertical behind it, fully functional, more of that body color, and then you have some flat black on the lower grille area with that gloss black lip. Now, one thing you'll see that's behind this lower grille is the intercooler. This has a turbocharged engine. Gone is the naturally aspirated V6. But let me know in the comment section what you think of the face of this Murano. Do you think it's as bad as you think? Or do you like the RX, the Lexus RX better? I'm telling you, the more you look at it, the more it starts to grow on you. Now, as we rise up, very smooth, sleek hood. I love the way the body lines, all of the gaps are nice and tight, flow into the clean hood. And then as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tires. So when you go top trim Platinum, you're actually getting 21-inch wheels. Gunmetal metallic gray with these flat, sort of like a satin black finish on the center. And this, none of it is plastic. These aren't plastic aero vents. This is all aluminum wheel, which is great. So nice to see actual aluminum wheel. 21 inches, largest wheel ever on a Murano. And I like the way they just did some machined aluminum accents. Tires are 255 on the width, 50 series sidewall. And one thing you'll notice, unlike the Lexus, no flat black around the fender opening. Really love this color. Sparkles better than your grandfather your grandfather's balls, his bowling balls, your grandpa's balls, this has definitely more metal flake than his bowling balls. But let me know in the comment section if you think that they struck out with the wheel design or if you're really digging it. As we rise up, nice clean lines into the body. We're gonna kind of spin around here. You do have power folding mirrors, which are great. Gloss black with your LED turn signals. Just some bright, shiny metal work along the top to separate the two-tone. And you don't have to get your Murano two-tone. Platinum, this is where you're going, is with that two-tone. Color match on the door handles, and then some gloss black along the bottom. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna say it again, this color is probably my favorite. I wanna see this color on a Nissan Z with some bronze wheels. Now we're talking. But like I said, we have all-wheel drive, so it's front-wheel drive base. It will send power to the rear wheels. Look at the way they really sculpted the rear door into the quarter panel. And then you have actual glass, Murano glass, for the quarter window. It's not just gloss black. And then that samurai sword of a trim follows nicely and just flows perfectly into our rear pillar. Now, as we swing it around back, there's that flared fender I was telling you about. The new LED lighting looking fantastic. You got a long roof spoiler. We got a panoramic sunroof. Wiper is hidden underneath, so we don't have to worry about ugly wiper sticking out. It just cleans up the back. And I think it's so smart the way they spelled out the Murano name with those gunmetal gray letters. You got the Platinum name, and then on the driver's side, we have all-wheel drive. So that lets everybody know that you went top dog trim. And then as we work our way down, super clean. I don't need any exposed exhaust on this. The gloss black with the gunmetal gray finishes it off nicely, and it's much nicer than if they did this all gloss black. But why don't we go ahead? We talked about the exterior. Let's pop the hood and talk about the new power plant in this all-new Murano. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Underneath the hood, gone is the V6. Now we have the introduction of the VC turbo into the Murano lineup. So you're looking at a 2-liter turbocharged, it's a variable compression turbocharged engine, 241 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to a 9-speed automatic transmission, so gone is the CVT. 0 to 60 in about 7.9 seconds, top speed 120 miles per hour. The vehicle weighs 4,450 pounds, MPGs 21 in the city, 27 on the highway. And if you're gonna tow, I hope you're not towing anything heavy with the Murano, because it can only tow up to 1,500 pounds. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and hear what this new engine sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Nissan Murano, the Platinum trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, wow. I can't believe this is the new Murano. I actually am digging it. I was really bored with the previous design, but how much is it? So this particular one, the way that it's optioned, has an MSRP of $55,000. Let's see if it brings luxury or if Nissan is just fibbing. To the door panels, love the two-tone. You got that nice soft material with the white contrast stitching. You have that trim that's meant to look like Murano glass, the namesake of the vehicle. You see that top kind of strip right above that trim? That's ambient lighting. So I wish I could drive this at night to show you all the ambient lighting. Then you have that blue interior. Gloss black around the switchgear, which I am going to have to zonk, but the white contrast stitching is spectacular. Door pocket down below. You'll be able to get 2 New York style bagels with a large smear of cream cheese and an iced coffee to wash it down. Now, going from the door panels to the dash, we got a 10-speaker Bose system, more of that soft touch material with the stitching. I don't know if Steven could pick up the light blue ambient lighting that's happening right between the two materials. Love the way they didn't do any gloss black. And then look at the way they did this wood style. Nice dark wood finish. Slide on in, you're gonna be greeted to a 12.3-inch infotainment system screen. I love the way that it's integrated into the actual dash. Full touchscreen, full set of Google Assistant, Google Maps, the whole 9 yards. You got all your familiar apps. Here's where you could focus on the interior lighting, your ambient lighting. You could change it up. Look at this. Roy G. Biv has nothing on you. And this is how, you see where the trim is? That's how it illuminates at night. I really like that light blue. Works well with the exterior. You could then go ahead and hit your AC controls, heated steering wheel, ventilated seats, heated seats, and dual climate control. And then like I told you, we do have massage seats. So real simple to use, on and off. You could adjust them. Look at the way you have that all set up. No other car at this price point has massage seats like this platinum trim. Let me go ahead and throw it in reverse. Nice, good resolution. Trajectory looks great. You do have your different angles you could do, panoramic and all that good stuff. You got your 360, and we got our forward-facing camera as well. And then we're right back. Technically, we're right back where we started. Boom. You do have a real volume knob, so don't freak out about that. I like the way they put the Murano name and the trim here. And then you got these haptic buttons in the wood for your AC. So you don't have to touch the screen. You could just, right here, raise the blower, lower the blower, raise the temperature, lower the temperature, the dual climate. You got your start stop button, 2 USB-Cs, wireless charging, more ambient lighting in here as well. Down below, you got a nice little nook for your purse, a merce, a sack, a satchel, a hat. You can even put a freaking pair of Jordans down there if you're not gonna wear them because you don't wanna scuff them up. It's really interesting, this whole sneaker market. I know a lot of you guys and girls are sneaker heads. I'd freak out having that much money on my feet and then afraid that somebody's gonna step on them. Because Steven's always stepping on my feet, all the time, stepping on my toes. You have your little push button system for your ZF 9-speed automatic transmission. You got the D mode. It's not what you think. Get your mind out of the gutter. D mode is the drive modes. I'll show you that when you come over the business end. You got your camera button, shut off that pesky auto start stop feature. You got a place for, I would say, 10 Tootsie Rolls. The new updated Nissan key fob. Thank God they updated it. It's getting a little old. Love the blue, the soft touch. Open this up. Whoa! You could put, I would say, 5 Game Boys in there and about 12 cartridges. Make sure you get Excitebike. That is one of the best. I like Tetris. You know, when you bought a Game Boy, it came with Tetris. And back when I was a kid, I was bummed out about that. But now that I'm older, I appreciate Tetris more. And I'm glad that it came with it. And then the seats, the leather. Look at the two-tone. Look at the diamond pleated stitching. Full electric assist with the massage for the passenger. Also with the driver. And then up top, you got that power shade for your panoramic sunroof. Nice one-touch operation. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I got a funky wheel I want to show you in this new Murano. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings. And here are your easy access seat controls. You see this thing right there? That's for the massage. Seats are great. They're the zero gravity seats. I really feel like I'm floating in space. I wanted to wear an astronaut helmet, but Lori said that wouldn't have been a good idea. But I do feel like an astronaut, and I definitely want some freaking astronaut ice cream right about now. But I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. Here's that funky wheel I was talking about. It's that single spoke, but I'm digging it. They put a little bit of design up top, the Nissan badge, and then you have your thumb wheel drive controls, paddles behind the wheel to go up and down the 9-speed automatic, and you do have an electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have your 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Obviously, you could scroll through a cornucopia of information in the center. Nice clear graphics and everything. And then remember D modes. So you have sport, standard, and eco. When you put it into different modes, it doesn't change anything. And that to me is a zonk. I wish the gauges would change and just be cooler if you're gonna go into sport mode. You do have a head-up display. And like I said, I like the way that it's integrated into the dash rather than just floating out there in space. Plus, you have that ProPilot Assist, which is the semi-autonomous driving feature on this vehicle. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna be spoiled like you are in the Murano. All right guys, backseat time, and this is what I keep saying, and I hope that I'm preaching to the choir here, because this is why mid-size SUVs with just 2 rows are so great, because you have so much room. You don't have to worry about cramming somebody in their cram hole in the back cargo area. This feels fantastic. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room, no pocket behind the driver. Kind of weird that they did this on a top trim Murano, so I am gonna zonk that, because it'd be nice to be able to have a place to put your Game Boy when you're not using it, rather than just put in the center console. A little bit of a command center. We got our AC vents, 2 USB-Cs, heated seats, but no ventilated seats. Come on, Nissan. 55 Gs, I want ventilated seats in the back. I have my own pocket here for my Game Boy and all the cartridges, and I like the way that they added the manual sunshades. Just another nice touch to kind of elevate the feel in here. And then you got, if I could pull it out, there we go. Ugh, somebody's boogers on that. Semi-soft on the armrest, 2 cup holders, and you got a Twinkie tray. If somebody's not picking their nose and digging for gold, they could eat their golden, delicious treat known as the Twinkie. And just so you know, the Twinkies and the cockroaches are gonna outlive all of us, especially if there's any kind of nuclear fallout. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in that cargo area, because I want to see how this Murano drives. All right guys, cargo area time. Hit the button. What do we got going on? Nice electric assist. You're going to be greeted to a very generous amount of space, because this is only a 2-row. So you're looking at 33 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Fold the seats down. It's a 60-40 split. That'll give you 64 cubic feet of space. I love the way they got the handles to fold down the rear seats, nicely located. And then you have this nice large nook on each side for a gallon of Yoo-hoo. Look at that, perfect on each side. And then what do we have underneath the cargo floor here? So we're gonna lift this up. You do get a spare. So nice to see the spare. You don't get, that's a car cover. I don't know why that car cover's in there. It's interesting how they have this slot here. This is for you to put your box of Twinkies. 4 boxes of Twinkies in there. Obviously, duh, because if you have 2 gallons of Yoo-hoo, that's a sad day if you have all that Yoo-hoo and no Twinkies. That's why they have that in there. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready, let's go take this new Murano for a spin and see how it drives. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Nissan Murano. We're gonna go on throttle. I do have the D mode in sport, and if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So nice smooth shifts from the 9-speed automatic. When you go full out on throttle, the VC turbo engine works great. Where I have had an issue with it is in normal city driving. It hasn't been very user-friendly, so to speak. And what I mean by that is it just feels like it never has the boost ready for when I want to get on it, if I'm just driving around town at a normal pace. On the highway, it's great. And like I said, from a dead stop, it's really good as well. And it's so much better than when the VC turbocharged engine was connected to the CVT in the Ultima. This 9-speed automatic is definitely the better transmission. Now, if you notice, right now turning about 2,700 RPM. If I take the D mode selector button and go into standard, that's gonna drop it down to about 1,700. So there is quite a difference between normal and sport when it comes to the 2 modes. Driving this vehicle, though, is very comfortable. The seats are freaking fantastic. They're stupendous. And having the massage going as I do right now, visibility is great. You got your head-up display, and it's very easy to get to that 12.3-inch infotainment system screen. Some really good storage in here, and you're just gonna really notice the upscale materials and fit and finish on the interior. Now there is a little bit of road noise from those 21-inch wheels and tires, but nothing too crazy. But this really is a different Murano than anything you've experienced before it. And yes, I know the naturally aspirated V6 is going to be missed, but the 9-speed automatic is definitely better than the CVT. It's like one of those SUVs, it's like it's good, but it's not great. And it's sad because they did do a lot of work. I mean, where this thing blows the Lexus out of the water, believe it or not, to me, is the interior. I love the materials, nice thickness on the steering wheel, clear visibility everywhere you look, and it rides really well down the road. Now, what I have found through my experience is that using the paddles on the back of the wheel to go up and down the 9-speed automatic actually makes it a much better driving experience, like if you're on a twisty road. And the handling dynamics are really fantastic in here. The way that they work the suspension, the chassis tuning, this is definitely a more communicative Murano and a better handling Murano than anything before it. But going down the highway is just super comfy and very smooth. But it's one of those things that it is $55,000. But like I keep saying, nothing is really cheap anymore. I mean, an RX is gonna run you $55,000 plus. So one of those things that you have to look at. What are you wanting out of your driving experience? If you really want to be pampered on the interior, this Murano is doing a hell of a job, especially with the changes. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of what the Nissan Murano is bringing for 2025. We're going to get back to where this started and wrap it up, so I'll see you in a split second. Guys, it's been another great day in so many ways. Definitely got to thank everybody over at Nissan USA for getting us access to this 2025 all-new Murano, platinum trim. Let me know what you think. Are you going to go this route over a Lexus RX? Very curious to see what you have to say in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Gotta give it up to Stephen Flood. He's flooding the internet with all of his great photography. He's doing some drumming. Check him out on Instagram. You're gonna love him. Everybody does. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you're doing. Just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.